Hello, my name is Laura Mariko Cheifetz, and I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. I'm currently working at Vanderbilt Divinity School as the Assistant Dean of Admissions, although my views are not representing Vanderbilt in this portion. This presentation is called Cultivating Antiracism Accountability Among University Administrators. This segment is for everyone, but it is primarily meant to address how those of us in administrative positions who are people of color who are not Black can leverage our role and the power that we have to support Black students, students of color, our colleagues, and LGBTQIA+ students and colleagues who are also people of color. I am biracial Asian American of Japanese American and white Jewish descent. I am an assistant dean in a small professional school embedded in a larger university. I'm offering my own perspective and practice as someone who believes there's always more to learn and always something to do for racial justice. In admissions, I exist in the tension between getting the work done that must be done and interrogating the systems that uphold structural oppression for change. A lot of administration lives here in this tension. Here are a couple of things we can do. First of all, avail yourself of an inclusive power analysis. White supremacy impacts all people of color in distinct and specific ways. Knowing what those ways are will prevent perpetuating divide and conquer policies which serve only the institution and not people of color. What Black students need will be specific and distinct from what a Latino student needs, which will be specific and distinct from what an international student needs, which will be specific and distinct from what an Asian American student needs, and so on and so on. Ask your institution to consider the same. What's the point of working with a bunch of highly educated individuals if we cannot distinguish between the specific and distinct needs of different people? It may take everyone a while because it also involves learning what those specific and distinct needs are. Just keep repeating it. Do not, and I repeat, do not live into a zero-sum game, either in your head or in policies and procedures, including financial aid that will benefit white supremacy. Do not take from international students to give to Black students, for instance, and do not take from Black students to give to Indigenous students. Think about the resources in a different way. Know thyself. For those of us who are not Black, but who are, for instance, Asian American, or for those who are Indigenous or Pacific Islander or Latino, Latina, Latinx, or Arab American, we have our own histories and current contexts of how white supremacy and structural oppression have impacted us. There is no need for us to latch onto another people, onto the story of another people, because we don't know the story of our own people, even and especially those in our racial group who have been here longer than we have. Read everything, watch from each other. Do not perpetuate shared social ignorance. Be responsible for educating yourself. There are too many books, websites, wikis, documentaries out there for us to rely on students and colleagues from other minoritized communities to teach us. Before a question leaves your mouth, consider looking it up on the internet. Find some good sources, and then, and only then, preferably within the context of an accountable relationship with someone you already have a trust relationship with, ask. Interrogate the systems. Every system was created, and the vast majority of them were created under conditions of white supremacy. Just because something is done how it's done doesn't mean we have to sustain it religiously and unquestioningly. In the name of doing things better, we can ask hard questions, make recommendations that will take incremental steps toward equity, and stop doing things we know are harmful, whether purposeful or whether unintended, to students and our colleagues. Where are people missing? Who are the folks who seem to be left out? Don't do this work for the Insta. This kind of work is long and hard and invisible. In my religious tradition, there is a teaching mocking the overly pious religious people praying loudly because they are doing it to be seen. Here in this story, the truly faithful person is the one who prays in private. The lesson is, don't be the one looking for attention. You are not the hero. This work is for justice, not for your own glory. This means showing a bit of restraint and sometimes not getting thanked for your good work. That's okay. Are you doing it to be thanked? No, you're doing it to make the world a more just place. Show up and be accountable. The uncomfortable thing about being us is sometimes we are the only ones in the room advocating to serve the specific and distinct needs of different students and colleagues. That means we need to be consistent, show up, educate ourselves, and be accountable to other communities. We will make mistakes. We will misspeak. We will misunderstand, mischaracterize, make the wrong call, test the wrong idea. It's normal and to be expected. Apologize, make amends, and double down on the work to make education more accessible, where more people can succeed. Thank you.